What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we have a bunch of news to go through involving a new SUGO-FEST, as well as the Luffy versus Katakuri event, which is going to be continuing going on for about the next week or so. So that's exciting to look forward to. But before we get into that, the treasure map literally has just ended as of me recording right now. So you can see I reached 69th position, which is pretty awesome. I was expecting to be around about the top 100. Towards the start of the treasure map, I was closer to like top 10, top 20. But then I basically fell off, and I tried to stay top 50, but then that got too difficult as E3 was happening. I was trying to go to bed at a recent time to wake up and watch it all. Either way, I'm still really content. The fact that I reached top 100, it still guarantees me 2 additional SUGO-FEST exclusive pulls, as well as 15 of each tablet, which is pretty awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. And once we get those rewards, I'll be making sure to upload another video with all of my ticket pulls throughout the treasure map. So look forward to that. But before we get into the big news that actually just got revealed today, we're going to be talking about the next treasure map unit. Now, as we know, when the silhouette of the next treasure map unit comes out, that does give us the hint as to what other events will be arriving very, very soon. And luckily enough for us, we have the full confirmation now. With the silhouette, we can see it is going to be treasure map Nami. So this is a Christmas Nami that is going to be the next boss in the treasure map. It also gives us a little bit of a rundown as to what characters are going to be boosted. We can see that the dual unit Dogstorm and Cat Viper are also going to be boosted again, as well as the treasure map rare recruit units in Kid, Hawkins, and Apu. Now I have to put this out here right away because this is something that I've been noticing over the past couple of treasure maps. They are drastically reducing the amount of treasure map rare recruit units that are being boosted in treasure maps. I'm not really a big fan of this. This means that that they get less valuable over time. So I would prefer it if they started putting more characters that are treasure map rare recruits into this pool of boosted units. I feel like the fact that they're not boosting them as often for more maps, it does make them less valuable, and people will stop pulling for them. Honestly, people will stop pulling for them if they're not going to be boosted in future maps. Luckily enough, the more recent ones are boosted once again, but still, they need to increase this pool. It's just not big enough. Hopefully they add more in the future to this specific list. But the big news here is that Nami is the treasure map unit. This means that the next big legend that should be coming out should be Carrot. Now, I know Carrot is definitely one of the more anticipated SUGO-FEST batches, obviously aside from V2 Katakuri himself. Legend Carrot is fantastic, one of the most useful legends in the game, has a very, very good rare recruit batch, and along with that would imply that Colosseum Magellan should be arriving as well. I want to make a video over the next couple of days or something talking about, upcoming SUGO-FEST batches, because I know some people have been asking me about that. Now that free-to-play players have done all their pulls, spend all their gems on the SUGO-FEST, what's the next one to look forward to? So I'll probably make another video about that in the coming days, so look forward to that one. But now let's actually talk about the news that actually went live today. So we can see the first banner is a brand new SUGO-FEST, which is a face-off Sugo. Now this is kind of weird, but on the Japanese side of the game, they actually had a very similar SUGO-FEST to this, because when this event was coming out, Snake Man wasn't even in the anime yet, so it was like a debuting anime special for Snake Man's debut, and they had a big SUGO-FEST around that, and that's what they're doing here as well. Unfortunately, he's not guaranteed, but I know most of you would have already pulled for him guaranteed in the previous SUGO-FEST anyway. But with this SUGO-FEST, it is starting on June 12th and it will end on June 16th. It says this SUGO-FEST, all limited pool SUGO-FEST exclusives, selected pool SUGO-FEST exclusives, and rate boosted characters are going to be powered up during the 3rd round of Luffy versus Katakuri. And we will be talking about that in a little bit as well. This SUGO-FEST is guaranteed to be 4-star or better. Preemptively, I want to say this as well. This is not a SUGO-FEST you want to be pulling on, especially considering V2 Katakuri just ended, the previous SUGO-FEST that we all know and love. But yeah, you don't really need to be pulling here. Like, you just don't. It says this SUGO-FEST is split into 2 parts. So the first part goes for 2 days. Part 2 goes for the other 2 days of the SUGO-FEST. 10+1 rare recruit counter will reset when transitioning from part 1 to part 2, obviously. Now, for each of these parts, it's the exact same structure between parts. The first and fourth multis are only 30 rainbow gems. The second multi is a recommended characters are rate boosted. Again, whenever you see recommended characters rate boosted, it's trash. You do not want to pull in that part whatsoever, because the chances of you even getting a rate boosted character really isn't even that great, considering what we've seen in the past with these rate boosted recommended characters. It's just not good. It should have just been a guaranteed new, like, selected rare recruit unit. It should have been a rate boosted rare recruit unit, guaranteed, and if you get a red, it's one of the guaranteed recommended reds. That's what it should have been, but unfortunately it's not the case. However, something to note here is that the third multi-pull is a selected SUGO-FEST exclusive character. This is pretty interesting. Hopefully they do this more in the future, and namingly the Carrot SUGO-FEST, because on Japan they had their structure for the Carrot SUGO-FEST was insane. I'm pretty sure like every guaranteed red was like a selected pool legend, and it was pretty insane, the characters that were available in that pool. So I really hope that does continue on, but we'll go through which characters are on this listing in a minute. But that's awesome to see that they are including a selected SUGO-FEST exclusive such early on in the banner. And then you've got the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th multi are a guaranteed red. So they are making it less steps to get these reds, but then again, no one's going to be pulling here. Like, literally no one should be pulling here. And the people who usually do spend a lot of money on SUGO-FEST, they're not going to be pulling here either. That's for sure. Like, this is just a bad Sugo. The 11th multi is going to be a limited pool SUGO-FEST exclusive with max special level and max level. So there is a difference between a limited pool and a select pool. The limited pool is obviously more restricted, so there's going to be less characters on it available for you, and typically a limited pool is going to have probably better legends as well. So let's go ahead and get through it. So there's no additional rewards after the 11th multi-pull. You can only pull the unevolved versions of legends, which is awesome, except for 6-star plus Snake Man Luffy. You can pull 6+ Luffy in this SUGO-FEST. So this is part 1 and 2 selected SUGO-FEST exclusive. The third multi-pull is a limited pool legend or a selected pool legend, which includes these characters. So it includes Log Luffy, Time Skip Luffy, and Gear 4 Luffy. That's the big bummer there. The fact that Time Skip Luffy and Log Luffy are both available here. You've got Legend Nami. You've got V1 and V2 Sanji. So I don't like the fact that V1 is here. You've also got Legend Capone. You have V1 and V2 Jinbei. So V2 Jinbei is great, but not V1 as much. V1 definitely has his uses though. You also have Soul King Brook is boosted here as well. You have Vinsmoke Judge. You have Big Mom, and both V1 and V2 Katakuri. So you are guaranteed to get one of those legends on the third multi-pull of part 1 and part 2. Now that may seem tempting, but we all know the way that the rates go. I would say that, Log Luffy and Time Skip Luffy, V1 Sanji, V1 Jinbei, those are the ones that are going to be like pretty rate boosted on that second multi, but, you do have the potential to get one of those really awesome, amazing, overpowered characters from the third multi guaranteed, which is quite nice to see, but I just don't think it's still worth pulling. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. And then in terms of the limited pool, so this is the units that you can get from the 11th pool. If you decide for somewhat reason to go 11 multis on this SUGO-FEST, the 11th multi is guaranteed to be V2 Katakuri or Big Mom or Gear 4 Luffy, Nami, Brook, that looks like V2 Jinbei, V2 Sanji, Capone, and you also have V1 Katakuri on there as well. So I feel like that pool, that would have been so amazing if that pool was the third multi-pool instead. But it is what it is. I understand why they're doing it, but it is what it is. And then it says that's pretty much it. And then it shows you what legends are available to be pulled here. Is there any rate boosted rare recruits? Okay, so the rate boosted rare recruits are basically all the units that are going to be boosted for the part 3 of the Luffy versus Katakuri event on Extra Island. So it's basically all characters that were during Whole Cake Island. So you've got you've got Nami, Brook, you've got Chopper, you have Pedro, and then some Big Mom pirates, Daifuku, Perospero, Smoothie, Amand, all those characters, as well as you have V2 Jinbei's batch as well with Waratsume and stuff. And I believe it said on the listing here with the event of the other characters that are boosted, you have Baron Tamago, which includes his Colosseum version, Bobbin, Strusen, Peckham's Aladdin, Waratsume, Caesar Clown, Capone Bedge, Vito and Gotti, all those characters are boosted. Interestingly enough, you've also got Opera boosted, Chiffon, Praline, all those characters. But everyone that was available within Whole Cake Island in the anime/manga will be boosted for the part 3 of Luffy versus Katakuri. Now, speaking of this, as of me recording right now, I believe the event site is not updated yet. We'll go to it right now and double check, but I don't think it's available yet. No, it still shows round number 2 as the top panel here, and yes, Luffy did win very, very convincingly. It does kind of raise some questions as to the authenticity of this event and the way that it was structured. Luckily for me, I was Team Luffy, so I did get the win anyway, but I know for people who are on Team Katakuri, I know some people are like raising those questions like, oh my god, like this is a rigged event and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't have any information about that. I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely feels that way. There is no way that they could evenly split the teams and for the discrepancy between the two teams to be this significant. Not really too sure about that, but hopefully round 3 is a little bit more fair, but we'll have to wait and see. Personally, I hope I stay on Team Luffy because it obviously seems like Team Luffy is going to be getting the overall win, so I'd like to stay on Team Luffy, but I do feel bad for you guys that are on Team Katakuri. For those of you who don't know, the winning side for round 2 ends up getting 5 rainbow gems, so I'm not really too sure when the distribution of those gems is going to happen, but those are the rewards that you get. Moving back to the game though, talking about the event itself, it says round 3 is running from June 12th until June 16th. This is the last battle. Go all out on Luffy or Katakuri. The team that deals the most damage will be victorious. Players in the team that dealt the most damage as well as cleared the specific quest would be rewarded with a SUGO-FEST exclusive only rare recruit. So it's only one free legend ticket. I'm not too sure if there's like additional rewards along with that, but it does say that if you've at least cleared the quest once, you get at least a 4-star or better rare recruit. So I would think that if you get the winning side, you get the legend ticket as well as the free 4-star or rare recruit, 4-star or better rare recruit pool. So that's pretty awesome to see. But when this event goes live, I'll be making sure to update you guys with a video, giving you guys the information about how this specifically works. But it's all about dealing the most damage that you can during the run. If you guys were playing throughout the 4th anniversary where we had the Big Mom Island dealing as much damage to her as possible, it's basically like that. We have to deal as much damage as we can to Luffy or to Katakuri, and that grants you points towards your team, and that's the way that it's supposed to work. So obviously characters that are very useful for this fight are going to be characters like V2 Doflamingo, whose special ability will count towards you getting damage. So if you have V2 Doflamingo, it makes your life a lot easier for clearing this specific event and giving you a lot of points for your team. So anyways, that's all the information we have right now. Nothing really else was shown off today. I just kind of wanted to give you guys the rundown of the upcoming SUGO-FEST, as well as the Luffy versus Katakuri event, and the fact that Treasure Map Nami is now confirmed, meaning that Carrot is likely on the way. If I had to put a specific date as to when Carrot's coming out, we don't have any confirmation of her release, but I would think that towards the later end of June is when we should be expecting to see Carrot, or maybe the early parts of July. We will have to wait and see. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.